don't want to talk to these members who are all really well educated in a basic way. So they do it in a really cool way. And I want you to see this video because I love it. It's a little long, but it's worth it, I promise.
Hej.
Hej! We're going to be talking about the role of the private sector in society and how the private sector can communicate all the great things they're doing for brand differentiation.
Det här är ju sista seminariet nu i Stockholm innan vi går på sommarledighet. Men ni som är i Almedalen, är någon som kommer i Almedalen här? Händerna upp. Bra. Då hoppas jag att ni kommer på vårt seminarium den 6.
So they could deliver drugs, they could deliver services, they could deliver education, they could deliver things better than they do anywhere. It was my first time seeing this, because they knew the roads, they knew the rebels, they knew these people, because they had to deliver Coke. And I was fascinated by the power of that. I started my career with Coca-Cola. That was my client. And if you work for Coke, that means you can't even look at Pepsi. You're not allowed to talk about Pepsi, you're not allowed to submit a receipt that at a restaurant that serves Pepsi. So if you're traveling, you're not allowed to engage with Pepsi at all. These brands hate each other, okay? It's fascinating. And so when we think about corporate social responsibility, oftentimes we think about it's a new thing, but it's not new at all. And I want to lead you, again, as a PhD, I'm kind of a nerd, so I want to take you through a little bit of a timeline of the way corporate social responsibility has developed, so we can understand where we are now in the world, okay? And please ask questions, interrupt me, argue with me. You're welcome to do that, okay? I'm American, so I hope that you will. As long as you don't break laws, that's your licensed operator, I apologize. Do no evil, don't kill anyone. Do no wrong, don't commit any crimes. Do no harm, don't make people sick. As long as you do those 3 things, that's okay. Then that's your licensed operator. No longer are brands, or products and brands just about their services. And right, we have to be more. We have to stand for something bigger than that, okay? And the consumer is really interested in this. If you think back from my country, and Sweden is a little special, because you guys, you know, it's a little special, so it's not often the best example. But if you think about in my country, 2 years ago, because you guys are so evolved, you're so advanced in the market. You know, the Scandinavians are so much more progressive than the rest of the world. So it's not a good example oftentimes when I sit here, because you don't think it's special to have gay rights. But all of this only happens if you communicate it. You have to communicate, and that's the part where the Swedes are a little scared. You know, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but they're a little scared of standing out and saying, we're the best, look at us, look at what we're doing. So strange for me, because you guys have some of the best corporate responsibility and sustainability policies, because they're embedded in your DNA as Swedes, right? You guys are, by virtue of being Swedes, already better. But you are. You're already better, but you're not communicating it because you Janten and Agam and all of this shit that I was drinking like 6 years into it. And you're like, what's wrong with you? You know? When a company took care of them, offered them something. So I'm sitting here, as you can imagine, me in front of the CEO saying, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? How come I don't know this? I'm looking through all of my materials. He's like, well, is this it? Is this an important thing for me to say? I looked at him and I said, what's wrong with you? Who is your biggest customer, and he says to me, well, we sell, I can't even do it with a straight face. We sell to, you can imagine my like, what's wrong? You just demined Laos, what's wrong with you? We sell to exactly how he said it. We sell to a certain Pacific Northwest coffee company. I said, are you telling me that your paper cups, that your company that has paper cups demine Laos, and I don't know about it at Starbucks? That my $7 latte drinking yuppie ass is buying fair trade coffee, but I don't know that this. Now, when we think about corporate social responsibility, these are the three things that I always talk about to my clients. Do what you say. If you're going to say something, do it. Because we all have these, and if you lie, you'll get busted. I promise. Do what you say. Look at what happened to Volkswagen. They said something, they did something else, they got busted. We will catch you. Say what you do. Don't be lagom. Don't be shy. Communicate what you're doing. Be creative. Be cool. Be outgoing. Be proactive. And then be who you are. Don't try to follow what's hip and hot right now. Be true to your brand, because that's the thing that's most important, and that's the thing that's going to be sustainable throughout the entire brand journey. I think that's it. Thank you.
Mycket bra. Ja, jätteentusiasmerande. Ja, jag jobbar med möten och events, alltså där vi hjälper våra kunder med delvis det här. Men som blygsam svensk så är det topp på det här, men det har man ju märkt med vilka som är